This is Duke University.
The role of social entrepreneurs is oftentimes looking at a problem and coming up with a new and often disruptive approach to solving that problem. And they're oftentimes they're leveraging disruptive technologies like cloud computing, mobile, it might be robotics or sensors or other things, and then they're creating business models that can scale, and so that they can scale them very, very quickly to help solve these problems. But in many respects, the role of social entrepreneurs is to take an existing problem, an existing approach, and find a very new way of solving this old problem. Government will still be the major funder of solving social problems for the immediate future. And governments can either play a fantastic role by helping to facilitate the market for this, by doing prizes and challenges that open up all of their problems to entrepreneurs to do, by having pay-for-success schemes, by not regulating these new startups out of the marketplace, or they could play a negative role, which is essentially by trying to compete against them, by over-regulating them, by not engaging them in the procurement process. And so I think that's what we're seeing. That's what we'll see right now. Now, so far, in the US, the federal government has been a big supporter of this with the Obama administration. And then on the other side of the pond, the Cameron government in the UK has been a huge supporter. But we still don't have that many governments around the world which are being very proactive in this way. And I think that's the next stage. And then, of course, there's companies too. You've got a handful of companies who are really far out in front around what we call being multirational multinationals, where they're engaging in social good, trying to make a profit, but there's still not enough there. We need companies to move beyond CSR and to look at how do we actually solve problems. And I again believe that it's that partnering with social entrepreneurs that's going to help, and also having a lot of social entrepreneurs going into companies and becoming intrapreneurs, where they're agitating for this and they're bringing their companies along to seeing some of the opportunities. Number one is talent. And when you get the best and brightest talent in the country and in other countries moving into an area, that's a total game changer in this field. Number two is you have this huge transfer of wealth to the baby boomers and baby boomers elsewhere. The biggest kind of intergenerational transfer we've seen in the history of mankind essentially is occurring. And that's going to result in a lot more family foundations, a lot more things. And right now it's a perfect timing because social innovation is kind of a very hot area to invest in. So you're having a lot more money going into it. Thirdly, I think just the recognition that a lot of our previous approaches, whether it's a government-only approach or simply through nonprofits or others, they haven't worked very well. We've still got a lot of problems. And so the recognition that we can use business, we can use markets to actually solve a problem, and getting much more sophisticated about that is a very big game changer. As we look at 10 years from now and a vision of the future, certainly we're hoping that this is something where we're seeing literally trillions and trillions of dollars in social value being produced right now outside of government, adding, that's complementary to the work that government's already doing. We're seeing the sort of social purpose that we see, and whether it's companies like Tom's or initiatives like Unilever's Project Shakti initiative, which is putting over 50,000 Indian women, villagers to work, and also trying to solve the problem of diarrhea, which is a big killer of children, by selling soap to them, that those become very commonplace. That every business has some really good stories like that, and a place where social entrepreneurs can go in and work at a big company. Number three, I'd love to see the fact that government agencies become more like NASA. NASA, the space agency, had a lot of budget cuts over time. They can no longer send a man to the moon like they did before, yet what NASA has done is helped to facilitate the development of a private space industry. And rather than competing against them. They're saying they're trying to do good too, and we're going to focus more on unmanned. And so they offer contracts to them, and everything they're doing is saying this is good for us, and we're going to facilitate this. They've opened up over 75 of their big problems to challenges that people the world over can help to solve. So they've opened things up. So you've got a different role for business, a different role for government, and for social entrepreneurs. I think what we want to see is 10 years from now, you have a good idea that's going to solve a problem, that you're going to be able to get the funding, the support, the talent to scale that idea as far as you can take it. And that funding doesn't become an issue as long as you're able to operationalize it.